Research means looking at the world around us. Innovation means transforming it. Innovation takes courage, imagination, tenacity, collaboration. Above all, it takes leadership. Leaders help us define a dream, then create plans to make it come true. They inspire us to achieve what we thought was impossible. At the University of Oregon, leaders in our research centers are uniting different disciplines to work on society's most vexing problems, conducting both fundamental and applied research. They're improving our communities, helping parents do a better job, finding ways to live more sustainably, and preserving Native American languages. They're working to answer fundamental questions about other cultures, life in the ocean depths, and the origins of the universe. Congratulations to our 2011 Research Innovation Award winners.
Camp Corps provides a place where you've got very, very high-tech equipment running at its instrumental limits with world-class experts to help people collect data. It also helps Oregon companies be more competitive in the global economy. This will lead to companies being able to succeed, to grow, to hire more Oregonians into high-paying jobs. You know, we sweat the small things to try to make this successful. The ability to make sensors that you can put in your field to basically measure what the moisture content is in different places in a cost-effective way means that you leave more water behind in the Columbia River for the fish and still get better yield in your crops. Whether it's the Oregon Business Development Department or whether it's the mayor of Hillsborough coming in and calling this their high-tech extension service. And what I love to hear is they all call this their facility. You know, there's lots of different things that you can do down here that students at other places just can't do. The goal is not to do the work for the students, but to enable the students to do the work and be successful. I think Camp Corps winning their Research Innovation Award to me means that all of the staff in this building have done a fantastic job. While the equipment is really good, really the people and the directors of Camp Corps here that really make this facility special.
Marine biology, as it's done at the Oregon Institute of Marine Biology, is a grand adventure of discovery. It's the opportunity to go places where nobody's ever been and to look at things that are so bizarre that you couldn't even imagine them until you saw them. A student discovered an unusual snail at a hydrothermal vent 8,000 feet underwater in the Western Pacific using a deep diving submersible. And we looked at the unusual embryos and larvae of these things and realized that this was a different kind of life history than had ever been seen by any individual in the history of the world. It was a tremendous rush to look through the microscope and realize that we were going to have an opportunity to name a new larval form that nobody had ever seen. We started a new marine biology major just a few years ago, and it's proven to be tremendously exciting to students all over the country and all over the world. We have a reputation of having one of the best undergraduate and graduate programs in marine biology in the country. Unlike some laboratories that focus on molecules and ecosystems, OIMB has a long tradition of focusing specifically on animals and plants and how they work. They can give us, through the interdisciplinary collaboration, a big picture of what's happening. We have a faculty member named Alan Shanks who works with the Oregon Dungeness Crab Commission, and he's developed a predictive way to tell the fishermen what the crab catches are going to be 2 or 3 years down the road. And I think by having this external service-oriented focus, I think we've been quite successful. Although I may be the figurehead and designated as a leader, you need the troops to do the work. I view a large part of my role as providing the facilities and the resources and the infrastructure so that people can do whatever they need to in the direction that their intellect leads them.
You ask what's so cool about physics. I ask what's not cool about physics. Physics is the means for understanding the world around us. And it's the way we can comprehend why things behave the way they do. From raindrops falling from the sky to the very existence of the universe. Particle physics aims to understand the universe at its most fundamental level. It is a very significant research effort to understand a leading area of science. We are ambassadors in Europe and in Asia for Oregon as we collaborate with scientists around the world. We're pushing the limits of observation and experimentation and also in theoretical analysis. We draw on techniques and technologies that come from many different areas of science and technology. I'm thrilled by having been recognized with the Research Innovation Award this year. For me, it's a very personal success, but also recognizes the work of all of my colleagues in the Center for High Energy Physics. I think that the research we do actually attracts people to science in general. Their first interest in the workings of the universe can be a spark that leads to careers in many different directions.
The mission of CAPS is to promote scholarship and research on Asia and the Pacific. It was mainly meant to make Oregon kind of the center of expertise on Asia and the Pacific. It matters, in a sense, it matters because Asia and the Pacific matter. We're talking about a huge proportion of the population of the people on this globe. CAPS benefits the university by bringing together the expertise of all of the many faculty and students on this campus who have a focus on Asia. The value of the CAPS program is that it widens everyone's perspective of the world and particularly enables them to see where Asia fits in it. It's important because, among other things, it makes us all better global citizens. What we do is we offer faculty a great opportunity to further their own research and scholarship. We cross disciplinary boundaries by bringing together faculty from all of the different colleges and schools on this campus and including them in the programming of CAPS. Also to bring other people into the mix who might not know anything about Asia but who might know a great deal about the subject matter. It's easy to be successful running the Center for Asian and Pacific Studies because of the staff. I think that it's really a team award in a way that should go to the center and its staff as a whole.
Languages of the Northwest are in great endangerment. In fact, of the 26 upwards languages in Oregon, we only have 9 that have speakers. When we started doing this 15 years ago at the Northwest Indian Language Institute, we thought that we were preserving language and teaching teachers to be language teachers. What we really see now at this point is that we're contributing to healthy communities and that children, youth in the communities who are learning their language and culture are turning more to their traditional ways and less to drug and alcohol. Winning this award places the Institute in a position, it makes it more visible, and folks will be more aware of what we're doing here at the Northwest Indian Language Institute, and that's a really critical thing. What has become salient to me in being a leader are not things that I actually would have thought of 15 years ago. Like really learning how to listening to the communities that I work with, listening to my students, and really seeing what their vision for their work is and where they see themselves going, and then mentoring that. The individuals that are here are really leaders within their communities. Part of all of that is really a humbleness that comes with this, and that's what I've learned by working with the Native communities.
The Child Family Center is focused on understanding and promoting mental health and resilience in young children, adolescents, and emerging adults. And we really have a good understanding of how to prevent things like delinquency and substance abuse and some of the things that trouble our society and cost our society a lot of money. What we're really interested in is preventing those societal problems from occurring at all. The work we do involves education, brain science, psychology, and clinical interventions. The center benefits the university in training undergraduates, graduate students, and in providing a context for multidisciplinary research. These interventions that we're developing here at the Child and Family Center can be broadly disseminated, not just in our country, but across the world. Children and families who are involved in the research and in the interventions we conduct here end up being able to go on to live healthy, adaptive lives. I think it's an honor to win this award, and it's great for the center to be recognized for the research that we've done here for the past 10 years. So really the award is about this center and the accomplishments of the Child and Family Center. There's nothing more rewarding than feeling like you impacted a family's life and a child's life, and that because of the work that you've done, that child and family might go on to be successful in a way that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise.
Building community matters because there's a number of problems throughout the state that need attention, and we bring the resources of the university to those communities that otherwise would not receive assistance.
The CSC benefits Oregon in many ways. All of the projects that we work on are focused on supporting communities across the state, largely the smaller communities.
Part of what I think we're aiming for in the long term is to create prosperity in Oregon, because we bring the classroom out to the community and the community to the classroom. And that creates a very rich and diverse learning experience for students. And we engage somewhere between 50 and 80 students each year, some of whom are placed on campus here through the Community Planning Workshop, and some of them are placed in rural Oregon communities for a year through the RARE program.
Some of the exciting things that RARE is doing is looking again more at food systems and also at the Main Street program, helping downtowns improve both from an economic perspective and also from an aesthetics perspective. So we bring planning, community development, natural resource management resources to these communities in a way that they can't access on their own. Helping students work interdisciplinary helps them, before they go out into the community, be prepared to work that way. I think one of the important things about the approach that we take into leadership is to really embolden our staff and our students to take on projects and to move things forward that they're interested in as well. The University of Oregon has to play a role in the shaping of the state as a whole and the communities within it. One of the things I hear from the supervisors out in the field that we work with is that the RARE participants bring a whole new energy to their community.
Each of our award winners has demonstrated leadership qualities that nurture collaboration, encourage risk-taking, and transform ideas into accomplishments. They represent just 7 of the 32 outstanding research units that report to the Vice President for Research. 12 have been created in the past decade under Rich Linton. They're also part of a tradition we can trace back to the 1950s when the university created the Institute of Molecular Biology. You might say interdisciplinary research is part of our DNA. Together, these centers attract a majority of the university's external grant funding, totaling over $400 million in the past decade alone. They also help us attract and retain top faculty members. Our research centers are shining examples of how the University of Oregon makes discoveries and applies those discoveries to change our lives. An investment in this research and innovation is an investment in our future.